Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. I am your host, the High Priest of Khonshu, Rey. Just cruising, taking it easy. Again, you've just got me for this episode. But I'm looking at a moonshine. I am looking at the latest and greatest Marc Spector, Moon Knight issue 2. So I'm going to have fun with this one. I have just read it. It is, it's a doozy. So really, I can't wait to get into it. First of all, just want to say to the loonies, I hope you're all doing well. It's been, it's been a pretty good run of Moon Knight, and as I mentioned in the previous episode, coming up I will be chatting with Jed MacKay on Saturday, so that might be Saturday morning US time. So between now and then, get your questions in if you want to say something to Jed, if you want to ask him a question. Yeah, we know not to be too prodding in storylines and such, but if you I don't know, curious about where things might be headed, or if you have some theories, drop a line to us and we can convey that to Jed and see how it goes. I'm looking forward to catching up with Jed. It's been way too long, so there's plenty to like about this latest series, Marc Spector Moon Knight. So, I guess I should say, preface of course, that there is a video version, so you can see Rey with his West Tigers singlet on. You know, it's evening here, I'm just chillaxing. Wanted to put something down on tape, just get a little chat about the latest issue going. If you are listening on the podcast, I shall try and justify your audio input with some descriptions of anything that I do put up on screen. I will be putting up issue 2 on screen, and this will be spoiler filled, so if you haven't read it, it has come out just the past Wednesday, the time of this recording, so if you haven't read it and you don't want to be spoiled, please turn off, pause and come back once you have. I'll be getting right into it. Let me just lower down some of that music before we get into the comic in hand. I'm going to chuck it up now. Here we are. Here we are, recorded stars. Marc Spector Moon Knight, issue 2. In case you're wondering as well, yes, I am in chat still with Rebecca, of course. Don't worry, she hasn't gone anywhere. Hopefully we can get Rebecca on as soon as the schedule allows. Definitely want to get Rebecca's thoughts on the latest and greatest Marc Spector series issues. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. Don't you worry. Okay. Sorry, just my headphones popped out a little there. So we have Moon Knight, as I mentioned, Marc Spector Moon Knight issue 2. We've got a fantastic cover here. I'll get to the details. I'm not sure who this is. I don't think it's David Paratore, who has been doing the previous covers. It looks like someone else, but it is glorious. And on this regular cover, it's got a very beat up Marc Spector in tattered costume with a bloodied crescent moon in the background. He's got a fully swollen black eye. He's got blood on his knuckles, blood on his costume. You can see his hands coming through the gloves. His face is obviously coming through the mask. Got tufts of hair through the hood. It's really just a beaten Marc. It's a Marc we all know and love, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. We like seeing Marc suffer. Something perverse amongst us loonies, but we certainly can relate to his flawed personality, I'd say. So anyway, it's a great cover. Go check it out. Let's go straight into. I just fast forward a couple of pages. So this is Agency Part 2. Writer Jed MacKay, artist Devmalya Pramanik. Oh my gosh, I've got things to say about the art. Color artist Rachelle Rosenberg, of course. This is the solid team that has been 40 odd issues. It's fantastic. You know, and there are other artists obviously in between. Letterer VC's Cory Petit. Now we have the cover artist Paolo Siqueira and Rachelle Rosenberg. So that was the fantastic cover. We have also variant cover artists Kari Andrews, Phil Noto. Oh, I haven't seen that one. And the Doom homage by Declan Shalvey. Oh gosh, I've got to actually check these. Oh, and I must say, friend of the show, he has been on here. Special thanks to Murua Ayodele. So we had a fantastic chat with him. I think just when he started his journey as a Marvel writer. It's fantastic to see he's got a mention here as well, sticking close to Mooney. Now I'll read the little blurb here just before we get into my first impressions, and you know, again, I'm going to be spoiler filled. So this says, Marc Spector has been captured by agents Byzantine, who are trying to find the whereabouts of his old ally, Jean-Paul of Frenchy Duchamp. With the help of Mr. Fear and the mysterious Mr. Smith, they've developed an elaborate fictional life around Marc in the hope that he'll lead them to their quarry. But their ruse has been pierced by Moon Knight's longtime enemy Zodiac, who brought Marc his costume and is fighting by his side to help him escape. So that's where we left it on issue 1, and it is a cracker. We get straight into it. Issue 2, God, you gotta love issue 2s, don't you? Things have been established and you get right into it. So as mentioned, I should mention editor Devin Lewis as well. So overall, essentially this is Moon Knight and Zodiac fighting their way out of Agents Byzantine, and there is a big reveal as well. We see Mr. Smith and Mr. Fear up in the control room. Mr. Fear is, for want of a better term, he's scared, he's fearful, and he's got a defeatist mentality when he finds out that Moon Knight is no longer drugged and docile, but he is out for vengeance. Mr. Fear pretty much, we'll get to it, he says along the lines, you know, we're not dealing with Spider-Man, Captain America, Daredevil, this is Moon Knight, and he, for all intents, is shitting himself. It is really cool. I love that kind of aura that Moon Knight projects towards the villains, the way that Jed MacKay has projected Moon Knight onto the villains. Anyway, as that happens, we get a slow reveal and also like a snippet, an additional snippet of history into none other than Raoul Bushman. Bushman returns, yes. For Looney fans wanting to see more of the classic cast, classic characters, we've already got the Nemesis looking for Frenchy Duchamp. So Frenchy's already been mentioned. Marc Spector, Moon Knight, the series, is all about, I guess, touching back onto the classic cast. So Jed has already established fantastic Midnight Mission, the likes of Reese and Soldier and 8-Ball. Now we're getting Jed giving us a nod to the past, and I'm all for it. I love it. So we get Bushman. I think, let me just remember, I mean, apart from, again, like Jed's long run, and apart from him bringing up deep dives like Commodore Planet and such, I think, oh no, we've had Morpheus as well, and we've had Black Spectre as well. So, but Bushman, obviously, top tier, one of the top nemesis of Moon Knight. Funnily enough, we have Bushman and Zodiac. So Jed has really utilized Zodiac as the main nemesis for Marc, for Moon Knight. So to get the OG nemesis in the same issue is pretty cool. So yeah, we do get the reveal of Bushman, and in true Zodiac style, just as the two face off mano a mano, Zodiac locks them in a room, pumps the fear gas, and sits back and probably takes out the popcorn and looks forward to the battle ahead. So that essentially is this issue. It was a fantastic issue. It was teased beautifully by Jed MacKay. So I'm just going to go through back and forth on some of these panels. I will describe it as soon as best I can. If you haven't read it, please do. Of course, if you are just relying on this audio to get you through your Moon Knight series, don't. I implore you, don't. Go get the comics. Devmalya Pramanik, he is an absolute weapon when it comes to art, and we'll get to this, and his layouts. I mean, Rebecca and I spoke about his layouts before. They seem to always go up another level. I don't know, as we get, I think, the mooncopter fly overhead. Anyway, so moving along, so what we get here, again, straight away, the first 2 pages before the credits, we are left with where we left off in issue 1, Moon Knight, flowing cape. It's got the mixture of like media textures here, like with the cape, but like the softer I guess folds and shades. And you've got Zodiac and Moon Knight getting ready, and I just love it. Moon Knight is cracking his knuckles. Agent Byzantine is saying, this doesn't have to be done the hard way. Moon Knight, yes it does. And I've just got to make mention the what do you call it? Is it the onomatopoeia? Is it the sound effects? Just the fonts used really give it to me a kind of a anime style, which I really, really do like. I mentioned it prior, I think Domenico Carbone had more of an anime kind of style than Dev, but I like it how it works here. It just gives it a little bit of difference. And of course Moon Knight is jacked as well. The fight scenes are absolutely glorious. The colours again from Rachelle, she's got a bit of the pale greens mixed in with the yellows and orange, just to kind of bring you ground up. Moon Knight glowing, of course, and then you have some deep reds and purples just to kind of define the henchmen that Zodiac and Moon Knight are tackling. And if you look at, I mean, again, Dev's layouts are slightly off kilter. You know, the horizon is skewed. We're kind of moving up as Moon Knight and Zodiac are leaping or going forward at the enemy. Just so dynamic. There's a lot of movement in here, a lot of splintered, shrapnel and timber. There's like blood flying in the air in arcs as well. So there's a lot of, you can just see the kinetic movement in this. And of course Moon Knight and Zodiac in full flight. It's a really effective panel to give you that sense that they are just charging at this crew of enemies. So yeah, we bounce between the action there, and it's more actually we stay up here with Mr. Smith and Mr. Fear. Mr. Smith being, this is fantastic. I love him here. He's just kind of goading Mr. Fear, as I mentioned. Mr. Fear's saying, like, this is bloody Moon Knight, right? And he's going, well, it's funny that you call Mr. Fear, but probably for the wrong reasons. And, even here we get a pretty dynamic layout here from Dev. It's really contained. It's really kind of compact. He's got 6 panels, all kind of boxed in and subdivided from one rectangular shape. And the top panel is interesting because interesting. I don't know. We'll have to ask Dev as to why that is. He's got like a combination of horizontal and a vertical panel together. I guess it gives the horizontal factor, gives you that, I guess, perspective or depth of Mr. Fear in the foreground, and then you have Mr. Smith in the background, framed by a vertical panel, all brought in together. Now, this is what I really loved. I think this is so cool. Obviously, it'd be interesting to know if any loonies had suspected Mr. Smith as Bushman straight away. I certainly hadn't. I hadn't been thinking of it. He hadn't been on my radar. Yeah, I don't know why. And Mr. Smith didn't seem like it. I mean, of course, you don't associate Bushman with wearing, white collared shirts. Mr. Smith seemed a little bit more refined than, say, the Bushman that we know, so he fooled me. But the moment that Mr. Fear gets Mr. Smith's dentures, that just drew a smile on my face, seriously. To see those sharp teeth, I'm going, oh my gosh, I think it's the guy. And it certainly was. But what happens here with Jed, I think it's great. I mean, you suspect it and you know it, after a few panels, but it's still drawn out. You still don't see Bushman for a long while. You see him like painting his face behind a mirror. You see history. Let me just jump ahead. You see history of Bushman when he was younger, in like a boarding school almost. You see that crazy look, and I think Dev does, again, a brilliant interpretation of Bushman. He's just a fantastic artist, so he's got all the characters wrapped easily. He's just he's hit winners for all of them. But here, as I was saying, the panel before, you have Bushman, you have the white chalk, and he's talking about chalk, putting chalk on his face, putting the death's head, but you still don't see anything. You see a profile of him putting like the red over his brow, dipping that in, all the while talking to Mr. Fear, and this is what makes up most of this issue. But for any long-time fan, this was just like, I was savouring every minute of this. This was really good. Interesting to know what, I guess, newer fans would make of it, because without that weight of who Bushman is, and he's been away for so long, I wonder if it would have had the same effect on like newer readers. But anyway, as for this loony, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I'm just going to go back a couple bits here, because the art is just absolutely off the charts. Now here, I was trying to make sense of this. Oh, I see. Okay, so in this particular panel, what Dev has done is actually brilliant. He's done this, so what we know in this kind of warehouse is that it's all staged, and so there are, there's a huge hangar, but there are like 4 walls that define rooms of this pseudo complex. So looking from above, you can see it's like a set design, right? Anyway, in this particular page, as Zodiac and Moon Knight are fighting their way through, we actually have these 4 walls as the borders of the panels, and they're bursting. Like there's one panel in the middle with Moon Knight just hammering a Byzantine agent, and it's bursting, it's pushing the other panels, which are represented as these 4 walls of a set, pushing them out. It's really cool, and then it's kind of mixed in with a top perspective to give you that kind of context that we're looking above, because Mr. Fear and Mr. Smith are looking from above in the control room, but you can see all this action takes place from a bird's eye view. But as you go in, it's just skewed. It's really fun stuff from Dev. And great stuff here. So nothing much here, just them fighting again. Oh, actually, what I've noticed here, you missed it. I missed it. I'm talking to myself. Agent Byzantine, they've got a taser baton, and you can see it. They use it on Zodiac, but what we know from my previous episode about Zodiac, he actually gives himself the same abilities as Manslaughter Marsdale, which he can't feel pain, so nothing happens. He just feels the little tingle at the back of his neck, and then he whacks the agent away, grabs the taser, and in one fell swoop, this would have to be my favorite page of this issue. So what we have now, so as I mentioned, Zodiac has grabbed the weapon off the agent. But in between that, we get this almost like, as I mentioned, like this graffiti or different font. I mentioned it before as a anime kind of font, but now it kind of looks like a mixture of like graffiti and vandalism. Like, vandalism as in something anarchic or something chaotic. It just works well with Zodiac, but I guess Moon Knight as well. Anyway, this is inspired, I'll try to describe it as best I can. It's a full page, it's a splash page of action, and the panels are made up of Moon Knight's arm. That's as much as I can really describe it. It is, and the silhouette of the unhappy adversary that Moon Knight punches. So what we have here, it's so cool. There are like veins, kind of like veins or contours around Moon Knight's forearm and bicep, upper arm, that actually defines these skewed panels within. And it's coloured red, in keeping with the theme of them just beating their way through these agents. At the bottom, it kind of splashes red, and you can see the moon knuckles on there. But each of these, I'm going to call it, in between these sinews, in between these panels, you have Moon Knight fighting. Mainly Moon Knight, I say, yeah, not Zodiac. Zodiac is in some of the hands. There's a silhouette of hands from the person being beaten, and within that you can see some Zodiac images. But it is crazy, absolutely crazy. I love it. Oh, so Dev, hats off to that. That's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and the premise is simple, right? They're just fighting their way. From Jed's point of view, this issue is about Bushman returning, right? And this is the big unveiling, and it's kind of the big moment, the villain moment, that Bushman comes back. That's what this issue is about. But there's a lot of fun in it with the action, and Moon Knight teaming up with Zodiac. How does Zodiac fit into this? He's quite chaotic. So anyway, yeah, it's just really good. So yeah, I mean, again, some great action scenes. There's one here. Zodiac's got the accuracy of Daredevil, or Bullseye. Apparently, he hits a sniper, basically right on the forehead with that tasered baton that he got from someone, and he knocks them out. Moon Knight, the cape's flowing. Rachelle is loving it with the blue illumination off Moon Knight's white cape and mask, and they're just going for it. It's really cool. And again, Dev uses the cape, which has aided Moon Knight a lot it was even in the original Vengeance of the Moon Knight with Openya, the artwork, by making that almost like a Spawn-like cape, which is like impractical, but it actually creates this mood, and Dev uses it to insinuate that the borders of the panel actually flow from that. So yeah, it's still weird. I don't know about seeing Zodiac team up with Moon Knight, but there you go. It is what it is, and it's a great little team up. Short-lived, because Moon Knight goes straight back at him. He dresses up. He finally gets his gauntlets on. He gets his hood on, and then once he's fully dressed, he wants blood. He's trying to strangle Zodiac, and Zodiac even said he's got quite the kung fu grip. So you can imagine the strength he has in his hand, Moon Knight. But this is great. Again, playful layouts from Dev. Nothing is static. Everything kind of moves or flows in a certain way and leads into stuff. And yeah, I just love the way that Zodiac's masked face is, as simple as his masked face is drawn. The fabric is just really, there's a lot of attention to detail. So yeah, we're slowly then getting, as we go along, we know it's Bushman, but we don't see him in his full visage yet. And so he's just getting ready. I think he doesn't think much of Zodiac. He calls Zodiac a child. Bushman's like one of the grown-up villains now. And as mentioned, he talks about his history, and then we get a big shot here as he takes off that white collar clothing. It's interesting that Jed adds here about how there's a little bit more. I can't remember if it was from the Mensch run at all. I don't think it mentioned anything of it, but his upbringing. So he's actually brought up in England, in a quite upper class, well-to-do social group, society, and that has helped colour him and become what he is as Bushman. I mean, obviously he has psychopathic tendencies, so that obviously went a long way as well in forming the man that is Bushman. But he does mention this thing where he actually he instills fear into some of the other boys. He steals a kitchen knife, he puts chalk on his face, and he literally forces them to follow him and obey him. So yeah, just a psycho, really, in the wrong field of, you know, rich boys. Just doesn't seem to work there. So anyway, yeah, as I mentioned, it culminates in another premise that we get to, which will be issue 3, no doubt. Zodiac breaks the hold of Moon Knight through an amazing page here again of an explosion. Moon Knight's cape, just, I don't know, what is it? It's like kilometers long, but it frames the explosion so well. They're kind of thrown back. It allows Zodiac to escape. And again, if you look at these panels from Dev, absolutely crazy. Very dynamic. He moves out. The slivers of panels kind of give you that kind of movement again. But then Moon Knight bumps into Bushman, who's back to his kind of old crazy self. He's fully jacked as well, as jacked as Moon Knight. He's got a knife, a hunting knife. He's got his sharp teeth. And Moon Knight, not afraid of him at all, just ready to go at him. And I love there's a little panel down there where literally the panel borders is Moon Knight's cape flowing. I think that's really cool. And again, there's some overlapping as well that goes over into the gutters. Just, yeah, really playful. Even the panel above it with Moon Knight is softened. I wonder what the intent there is. It looks really cool. The Moon Knight, there's no defined black line around the edge of him. There's no black defined edge around the panel. It's just all bleeding into that image of Bushman, as well as the whiteness of the gutters. Really cool. And we have it's got to be an iconic look here. Bushman, I'm sure he's done this before, behind a hunting knife, but we get the reflection of Moon Knight. He's got his crescent moon darts, kind of Wolverine-like, in between his fingers, ready to strike. Bushman is ready to take him on. He says something along the lines of, you know, the thing we have in common is that we speak the language of violence. So they're getting ready. They're getting ready to throw down. And yeah, as I mentioned, I love this idea at the end of Zodiac. Really almost intimidated, I think, by Bushman. And he really wants to assert himself as almost jealous that Moon Knight is paying attention to Bushman. Zodiac's almost no, I'm his man. I'm his nemesis, not you. So yeah, what we get at the end, really cool. Panel here. Perspective of Bushman looking at Moon Knight with the fear gas. Moon Knight just looks like a weird, wacky, harpy spirit, and Bushman looks very demonic as well. But Zodiac says, cut his face off again. And yeah, again, it was something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't thinking of. Like, we know one of the defining moments in the Charlie Houston run was when Moon Knight cuts Bushman's face off. Hugely horrific. I don't know any other superhero that would do something like that. And, you know, added bit, he wears it at one stage, I think during the Benson run. Really crazy. But I totally forgot that point, and so this thing brings it back. Zodiac is well aware this happened. He wants to see this sort of grotesque violence again, and that just leaves us hanging for the next issue. Which is to come. I don't know about you guys. I am stoked at this, and the Mission Control as well. Bushman and Moon Knight, the rematch of a lifetime. and then we get a little preview of next issue. I'm going to read, I will read offline this letters page. This issue has really got me amped up. But yeah, that was issue 2 of Marc, Spector, Moon Knight. For me, this is a solid 5 out of 5. I just really enjoyed it. The art was absolutely mind-blowing. The story, and again, yeah, I did not expect Bushman. But yeah, the moment the sharp teeth came, I knew who it was, but just that slow tease of actually not seeing him to the end, I just loved it. I ate up every word, and it was just, yeah, it was fantastic. I've got to tip my hats off to the team. They're doing so well. I cannot wait to speak to Jed. That will be, in about 5 days' time, so it'll be very interesting to hear what he has to say. And again, just get your questions in, please. I would love to read some of them out. I'll try not to make it a straight up Q&A for Jed, but I'll ask Jed to just basically elaborate more on the series and what we can expect, as much as Jed can tell us. And just, I guess I'm just trying to think of questions now, but I will definitely feel them towards him, and I hope you do as well. Let me just see, while I'm here, and while I have you can't see this, but I'm just going to check. I know I didn't put up a discussion thread, I apologise for that. I really should have, but what I'm going to just check if there has been any discussions about this. I know there has been some stuff going on in Discord. People have been, some of the loonies there, posting up some spoiler posts, so I'm going to go check them out now because I have read the issue now. But it'll be very interesting to see what everyone thought. So I'm just going to the Facebook page. It's just, if by any chance I don't think there is, that's fine. Okay. Anyway, let us know what you think. Just drop it in. Go to Discord. Drop it on Facebook or on X. Let me know what you think of issue 2. Because I absolutely loved it. Like I said, Rebecca hopefully is going to be back soon. I've just got to tee something up with her. I know Rebecca's got some commitments, but if you're not, we'll get Rebecca on because she's so good to discuss Moon Knight with, so knowledgeable as well. Anyway, that's it from me. You've heard me ramble enough. I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, like I said, let's just get the conversation going with this latest series. It's really good. I just want to talk about it some more. But I know my place, so I'm going to sign off. And as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. We'll go catch you later.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.